Hi guys and welcome to MotorBeam. The adventure bug has bitten almost everyone I know, and that's why we have two of the best, or rather the cheapest adventure motorcycles you can buy in India. However, they're priced very apart, but should you pay double for the BMW G310 GS? I'm going to be telling you in today's video. Now both of these motorcycles look very purposeful. Unfortunately, they miss out on a lot of hardware. There are no LEDs on offer. Yeah, the Himalayan gets it on the tail light, and so does the BMW. But at the front, no LED indicators, no LED headlights, no projector setup either. However, the BMW looks a bit fresher, and definitely being inspired from bigger BMW adventure motorcycles, it is the one which attracts a lot more attention. The GS is not only taller, it is wider as well, and both these motorcycles get off-road elements like a beak up front and off-sized tires. However, the tires on the Himalayan are of bigger size, meanwhile the tires on the BMW are wider. And while the G310 GS gets golden colored upside down forks, the forks on the Himalayan are a bit traditional. They are telescopic forks. However, they get fork gaiters for that traditional off-road feel. Both these motorcycles also get a monoshock rear suspension, and the suspension travel is on the longer side, thus ride quality is brilliant on both these machines. However, the Himalayan is just more compliant on bad roads. But the GS has a better ground clearance, it also has a better seat with better cushioning, and of course is the more comfortable motorcycle over here. But if you want to take a pillion along, the Himalayan is better over there, and both these motorcycles get a multi-purpose grab rail. The one on the BMW is just bigger, so yes, it's easier to mount luggage on the GS. The GS uses alloy wheels and tubeless tires. Meanwhile, the Himalayan uses spoke wheels with tube tires. And even though the tank on the GS looks bigger, it is actually much smaller than the one on the Himalayan. The cluster on the 310 GS is an all-digital unit. Meanwhile, the Himalayan uses an analog digital unit, where analog actually takes 75% of the instrument cluster. And that all-digital cluster on the GS of course offers a ton more information. It only misses out on a compass which is there on the Himalayan. Now here's something which is funny, because a hazard light switch is present on the RR310, the Apache, but is not there in the G310 twins. Same is the case with the Himalayan. It was there in the BS3, it has been removed in the BS4 for reasons unknown. Now here is where there is a massive difference between both these motorcycles. Of course, they employ single cylinder engines, fuel injected, 4 valves, but the Himalayan doesn't get liquid cooling, which is there on the BMW. Now, the engine on the BMW is very smartly done because it's a reverse incline engine helping in better weight distribution. But it is the Himalayan which has a better low-end performance. The mid-range is decent. The one on the BMW is just better. It has a massive pull in the mid-range and also has a top end as such, especially when you compare it to the Himalayan, because the Himalayan doesn't really go in the top end. It redlines very early. Yes, the BMW does like to redline, but both these motorcycles have a lot of vibes. Somehow the BMW is slightly more refined, the Royal Enfield not so much. So in terms of outright acceleration, of course, it's the BMW which is faster, but about riding in the city and at slow speeds, it's the Himalayan which truly excels over there. And with the bigger fuel tank and slightly better mileage than the GS, it's the Himalayan which also has a longer tank range. Not that you really care about this, but the top speed on the BMW is of course higher than the one on the Himalayan in spite of this having the higher displacement over here. This being a long stroke engine of course has the better sound over here, especially in the low end. However, as you get near the red line, it gets very coarse and the thump is completely lost. But the BMW does sound well in the mid-range as well as in the top end. The Himalayan employs a double cradle frame. Meanwhile, the BMW employs a tubular frame. In terms of dynamics, of course, this is a BMW, so it definitely handles better. However, the issue is that on full lock, the handle of the BMW doesn't feel that nimble and easy like the Himalayan, because the Himalayan's headlight doesn't move at all with the handlebar. At lower speeds, and if you don't go full lock, the GS is just easier to turn around. Coming to the small yet significant things, in terms of headlight illumination, is the Himalayan which offers better throw at night, but only marginally better than the BMW. But the Himalayan's rear view mirrors are of not much use. The BMWs are slightly better though. Now coming to the all important question, if you have to go off-road, which is the motorcycle you should pick? Well, both these motorcycles have center set foot pegs, and the tank design of the BMW is such that when you're going off-road, it is not as easy to maneuver it as the Himalayan. So while the 310 GS is extremely capable off-road, but the Himalayan is just better. It's more confidence inspiring. It can actually go to places where the BMW might just struggle, and the Himalayan is truly a better adventure motorcycle over here, at least when it comes to going off-road. Both these motorcycles get dual channel ABS. The brakes on the BMW G310 GS are simply better, and of course you can also turn off ABS, so that definitely helps on an off-road course. Now comes the important question. Of course, I've told you almost everything possible, so you can yourself decide which is the motorcycle to buy. If you want a BMW or if you have the budget, then opt for the GS. It's a fantastic motorcycle. Better quality, better performance, better handling than the Himalayan. However, the Himalayan might not be as easy to live with. It might have certain issues and might not have the performance of the BMW or even the brand swag of the BMW logo. But it is the better adventure motorcycle, coupled with the fact that it costs exactly half the price, makes my verdict tilt in the Royal Enfield Himalayan's favor. Now the only thing I wait for is the Himalayan 650. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it the thumbs up, that's the like button, and also subscribe to the MotorBeam channel.